Welcome to the weekly Zohar class connection. This Shabbat, this week we are studying the portion Lecha. Go out for yourself, go out of yourself. Is the famous story of Avraham leaving his country, leaving his town, leaving his parents. And God tell him to go to a new country, new place. This Zohar class is not only information class, is totally related, is the spiritual connection to that week, is this energy of that week, and the energy of the month. This portion is always during the month of Keyvan. The sign of Scorpio. The portion of last week, Noach, is always at the beginning of Keyvan. Portion Lecha is the first week of Keyvan. As you know, they call Keyvan, the month of Keyvan, they call it Mar Keyvan, right? Like bitter Keyvan. And our job is to make it Ram Keyvan. Make it from bitter to elevated. You know, this is the opposite. Mar means bitter, talch. Ram means elevated, higher. So our job is to make this bitter month to a better month. Month of Scorpio. And who's going to help us? Avraham. Or Avram. Before he became Avraham, what was his name? Avram. How do you write Avram? Aleph, Bet, Resh, and Mem. If you separate it, it's Av, means father, and Ram is the same Ram like here. The father of elevation, the father of changing, the father of higher consciousness. So it's not an accident that we study about Avraham in the month of Scorpio, because it's a heavy month, it's a tough month, and the father of all the nations that learn how to elevate himself, how to change himself, he's going to teach us how we're going to switch this month. This Lecha is never in January or never in the summertime, it's always during the month of Keyvan. He's going to teach us how to elevate ourselves from the bitter month to a better month. This class is about Avraham and changing himself, switching himself. We're going to talk about three subjects this class. We're going to talk about what is my next level. You know, we don't want to study exactly what we learned last year in portion Lecha. We want to go to the next level. We want to go to the next level of understanding. Avraham went to his next level of consciousness. That's going to be the first portion. The second portion, we're going to learn about what does it take to change my nature. Avraham changed his natures. We need to change our nature in order to have a better life. And the third section, we're going to talk about soulmates. Believe it or not, there is a big portion of the Zohar in the section of Lecha talks about soulmates. It's not only for single people, it's also to make the relationship that we already have a better relationship. And the question is why in this portion of changing your nature and moving to the next level, also talking about soulmates, finding your husband and your wife. Very interesting. We touched it last year, but we're going to go even heavier this year. So our purpose, you know, we studying, I look at my notes, I already have had like 5 classes of Lecha for the past 5 years. But none of those notes apply to us anymore. It's so amazing. Every year we go to a higher level. We go to the next level. I explain it's like an onion. We just go to a next layer and another layer and another layer. It's not becoming smarter, it's not having more information and more knowledge, is getting closer to the truth, to the emet. So the Torah starts, let's read from the Torah. This is the Torah, not the Zohar. Let's read how the Torah starts in this coming Shabbat. I'm going to read it in English. It says, "Now the Lord has said to Abram, leave your country, leave your people, leave your father's household, and go to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be blessings, and I will bless those who bless you, and curse whoever curse you." So, in this portion, in the month of Scorpio, this Torah portion is telling us, leave your comfort zone, leave who you are, leave who you were in the past level. You need to move up. And of course, Torah is all about consciousness. It's not talking about that we have to leave Los Angeles, no. It's talking about the level of consciousness that we have now. Even whatever we studied last year and it was wonderful, this year we have to go one step further. The old, like we said, the Torah is the same like last year, but we are not the same like last year. The universe is not the same like last year. So I need to adapt myself. I need to keep going forward, to change my level. Deeper understanding, higher conscious, come out of my old me. Enough with the stubbornness, enough with the separation, enough with the hate, enough with the anger. We have to move to the next level. And saying going to the next level sounds easy, but it's not easy. It's not easy. Going to the next level is totally coming out of your comfort zone. On the way here, I was thinking about the fifth grader. Fifth grader, he finished fifth grade from elementary school. He needs to go to a middle school. Can you imagine how scary it is? Leaving your comfort school, leaving your comfort friends. I want to stay in fifth grade forever, but then my level of consciousness and understanding is going to be in the fifth level. So going to the next level is scary. I don't know what's waiting for me. I don't know how the kid's going to treat us. I don't know about the teacher. The whole school system changed. You don't have one teacher anymore, you have multi-teachers. Honestly, it's scary. I remember the face of my kids, going from elementary to middle, going to middle to high school. But look at them now, they're much smarter, wiser, elevated, higher conscious. So for us to move to the next level is, we cannot plan this. We cannot plan. I don't know what's going to be my next level. If I know what is my next level and it's safe and sound and comfortable, that's not the next level for me. So the next level is unknown. What the Torah says, it says, Abraham, start moving. I'm going to show you where you're going to go. He didn't know where he's going. We don't know what our next level is. But we have to make a move. We have to move it. First time I came to Kabbalah class, I didn't get much, but it was a huge change for me. I sit down, I listen. It sounded strange, it was scary, but we stick to it. So the next level, if we're always talking about studying Hebrew in order to understand better. So, we say, oh, Hebrew is too difficult, it's too hard to understand, it's too hard to learn. So, it's the next level for you. If you don't speak Hebrew, the next level for you is to learn Hebrew. It's scary, it's not easy, it's not comfortable, but can you imagine the wisdom and the chokhmah that understanding Hebrew is going to bring to you? So we're done with the 10 minutes of the Facebook Live. You can watch the rest on eresculturalcenter.org, or you can join the class. Thank you. So moving to the next level is scary, is hard, it's not safe. I have to sacrifice, I have to do so much for the next level. And the next level has its own rewards. More blessing, more understanding, more love, more unity, more understanding of yourself, more of understanding of the God, the Creator. So we keep talking about higher level of understanding, higher level of consciousness. It doesn't come easy. You have to come out of your comfort zone. The story of Abraham, he was 75 years old. He was not a little kid. 75 years old. So first of all, the lesson is never too late. So he goes, we all know the story of Abraham. My father used to tell me the story, your father probably told you the story, that his father was an idol worshiper, and he was making statues, making gods, and it was not good enough for him. He looked at these statues, he says there is no way these statues created this world, created this universe. Then he go ask his father, and then again, the father said the same thing to him, that these statues are the gods. And then that famous saying comes that he looked up. When we cannot get the answer, when we cannot find the solution, we're always looking up. We are looking at our father, we're looking at our teachers, or we're looking at the Creator. So Avraham looked at the sky and he says, who created all this? It can't be the statues. And this is where the story of this Shabbat starts. God says, you want to understand, you want to learn, you need to move out of your old way of living, old way of understanding. If his father was a statue maker, idol worshiper, how can he change if he still lives in the same house? We are not talking about the actual family, we don't have to leave our house, but if I want to go to my next level, I have to leave my understanding and wisdom and knowledge behind and move to the unknown. None of us knew where we are going when we started studying Kabbalah, but it brings us so much understanding and blessing. I studied Kabbalah for 10 years, and then I started studying Talmud and Sefirot, which is a higher level. I don't understand much of it, but that's exactly my next level. If you understand it, that's not your next level. If it's easy for you, then it's not your next level. So Avraham had to move out of his old way of thinking, old way of speaking, old way of looking and listening, and lifestyle in order to adapt, to understand what's going on in the world. And we know Avraham is the one that come up with the one God, right? He was the first person. He says, there's only one God. What does that mean, one God? What a difference does it make to us if it's one God or two God or 10 God? According to Kabbalah, the one God is the highest level of love. Amir Jun is not here tonight, but God is nothing but the energy of love and joy. Avraham, he find the one God, which means he realized, he find out that the energy of the one God is nothing but love, the true love, the true love. There's always a saying, what's the difference between Avraham and Noah? Why Noah didn't save other people, or only save his family? And Avraham, he was helping the whole humanity all his life. The answer is love. Noah didn't have the love that Avraham had. The love for humanity, love for life. So when we are talking about going to your next level, it's going to the next level of how much love you have in your life, how much love you practice in your life. We said Abraham got close to God. I mean, how do you get close to God? If you go live in a mountain, you're closer to God? Or if you hug the Torah all day, you're closer to God? Or if you say the tefillah 100 times a day, you're closer to God? According to Kabbalah, closer to God is more how much love you practice in your life. The energy, the force of the Creator is nothing but love. Nothing but love and joy. When Abraham saw all the negativity in the world, all this nonsense about his fathers and idol worshipping, he realized that there must be a love in this universe that created all this. So, when we're talking about getting closer to God, is having affinity with God. You know, experiencing God. Having affinity and experiencing is only by love. True love. There is many levels of love. You know, maybe we have a neighbor that we don't like very much, but we came to Kabbalah classes maybe for a year, and I learned that I have to be nice to everybody. So once in a while I said hello to my neighbor. But when I go to my house, I say, oh, this neighbor, I don't like him. So that's improvement, but that's not the true love. Maybe the next level is, you know, I have a conversation with him. I put 10 minutes of my time, you know, for him, instead of just saying hi. But then I go to my house and start judging him. So, and there is a next level to invite him for a coffee. The next level is to become true friend with him. I just want to show you the levels of love, how much there is millions levels of love. And the one God that Abraham finds is love with no agenda. Love with no agenda. I don't pick and choose. I don't choose who to love, and I don't change myself, my level of love between people. If I want to be close to God, if I want to be partner with God, is the maximum love I can practice 24/7. Of course, you know, we all have strange neighbors, we have some negative people in our life. I'm not talking, we are not in that level to even love them, but hopefully we're going to get to that level. So, I keep saying the word love, but the one God that Abraham finds is the true love for everything, for humanity, for animals, for vegetables, for inanimates, for life. Love for life. If you remember the last class or the speech I had about Bereshit, we said the first mitzvah of the Torah, the very beginning, Bereshit bara Elohim, the first mitzvah of the Torah was to recognize the universe, to acknowledge the universe, acknowledge the creation. You know, love your life, love the universe. That's the first mitzvah. Before Shabbat, before Kashrut, before Chagim, before everything. Torah is not a religious book. Torah is a blueprint of the universe, it's a way of life. The first mitzvah is love life and everything within it. So, in order to make the month of Cheshvan from bitter to better, in order to make our life from bitter to better, is we have to leave the old habits, we have to leave the old behaviors. Last year we spoke about leaving your old country, understanding and behavior. We love our parents, but we have to evolve from them to a better knowledge and understanding. And study your astrological sign, So that's going to help you improve to go to the next level. Our signs stop us from loving. Doesn't matter what sign. Every sign, if we search, every character of each sign is stop them from growing in love. Gemini, no patience. When you don't have no patience for a friend, when you don't have no patience for a class, when you don't have no patience for any group, how are you going to practice love? You stand up and you leave. No patience, no love. I don't know, Leo, that want to be in control and being in charge, teamwork, I'm the decision maker. Where is the love in that? Same thing with Scorpio, controlling others. There's no love in it. So when we study our sign and we learn what is the negative characters within that sign, by eliminating those negative characters, then I get closer to the one God, to the true love I'm looking for. If we stop judging creates separation. There is no love in separation. One God means that we all one. When he said around find one God, we all one. There is no difference between us. We all one. The moment we start the separation, the love stops. So the one God and the one love is the same thing. Each time I eliminate separation, I'm going to the next level of love within myself. So what the Creator is telling Abraham is leave everything behind. That's number one. Without knowing the result, that's number two. And number three says, I promise you. The Torah says, I promise you, it's going to be good. You're going to be protected. You're going to be rewarded. And we know Abraham, he was the wealthiest and happiest, biggest family. He's the father of all nations. So don't think if you practice more love, you're going to lose something else. No, you won't. And we become so smart. With every move we want to make, I want to go to the next level. I want to know what's going on. I want to know the next class. I want to know who's the teacher. I want to know. All constantly we want to know. It says, living without going to your next level, without knowing what's expected. Again, if you know where you're going, that's not change. That's not the next level. Not knowing what's going to happen to you, that's your next level. There is another beautiful story from Rabbi Ashlag. This is the problem of humanity. This is, if you look at the news, if you look at what's going on in our society, most of the people are stuck in their old level. They're stuck in their old level. We are the same person of last year, the same person of 5 years ago, the same person of 10 years ago. Come on, you're not tired of yourself? You're not tired of the results, the same negative results, the same closed doors, the same no's that we get? So we have to move to the next level. Rabbi Ashlag said a beautiful story. He says there was a king one day that says, I need some workers. I need 5 workers in my palace. And this is a great king. Everybody loves this king. He says, I need 5 workers for my palace. And the work is all about love and kindness and helping and humility and mercy and chesed. And he says, yeah, I need 5 workers. And he announced it all around the country. But before the palace, he set many guards, many levels of guards. Like at the beginning, like security guards, many levels of security and guards. At the beginning, small wall with small security, then the walls got bigger and the security got stronger. So when the king announced it, hundreds of thousands of people showed up. And the guards, they block everybody. They didn't let anybody go in. He said, what kind of a job it is that, we cannot get in? And people struggle, and they jump the wall, and they overcome the guards, and they go to the next level of guards. Again, they got blocked. Few made it to the last guards, but these guards totally blocked everybody. They get disappointed and go home. The next day, 1,000 people showed up. And they tried again, and they're pushing and pushing, but there is no way to get even to the king. The guards are so strong, the walls are so high. After a few days, only 5 people showed up again. And then the king tell them, let these 5 people come in. The lesson is, no giving up. No giving up. And the process have to be with love. If the employees, they just came for the money, obviously they said, forget about the money, there is no money here, they don't let me go in. If they came for recognition, if they came for, look at me, I'm gonna work for the king, they couldn't get in. Only people that truly, they love the king, they just wanna be there with the king, they end up keep coming back and getting the job. So when I say go to your next level, it's not easy. We're going to have so many obstacles. I'm sure you experience it. You want to come to this class, some people make fun of us, there's traffic, sometimes it's raining. Hanut Khanum, you're amazing. You always show up, I love you. So to go to the next level is not easy. It's full of challenges. The negative side is not going to give it to you easily. So only with true love for the Creator, for the Torah, for the Kabbalah, for the Zohar, you can overcome all these guards. If you come for the purpose of any other purpose, wealth or, recognition, it doesn't work. Only if you do it with love, because this system is built on love. The Creator is nothing but the love. If you practice, the more we practice the love, you're closer to that love. Now you know why this section is also talking about the soulmate, so we're gonna get there. Let's read the section from the Zohar. We are in book number 3, we are in page 3.
Book number 3?
Book number 3, yeah. Lecha. You can just write it down and you can study it at home. I know you will study it. So we're in book number 3, page number 3. We're going to read the English and then we're going to read, also section 3 on page 4. So the Zohar says, there are people in our world who are hard-hearted, stubborn, and set in their evil and selfish ways. The Zohar describes these people as refusing to change the negative aspects of their nature. They seek not to embrace the path of spiritual transformation and the light of the Creator. All of us, to a certain degree, possess an aspect of these negative traits. It was in English and it was pretty clear. It says we are sticking to our stone heart, stubbornness, negative, selfish, evil ways. There is no way we can take advantage of this Lecha portion, move on to the next level, if we keep the same old habits. Let's now move to page number 4. We're going to read the Aramaic section, number 3. Don't cross your hands, don't cross your legs. We're going to read these Aramaic words or spiritual words, or we're going to connect us to the energy of the week. It's going to bring us the blessing of Lecha. It's going to bring us the blessing of moving on to our next level. It's going to bring us the blessing of bringing more love to our life. Tachazai Avraham ba'ay lekorban lekutcha b'richu v'yitkarav hahod ahavat tzedek v'tisna rasha בגין דאהב צדק ושנא רשע, את קרב לצדקה, ועל דה כתיב אברהם אוהבי. מת אוהבי בגין דכתיב אהבת צדק, רחימותה דקודשה בריחו, דרכים ליה אברהם מכל בני דריה, תאהבו אבירי לב ואינן רחוקים מצדקה כמה דאיתמר. Come and behold, Abraham indeed succeeded in his desire to get closer to the Holy One, blessed be He. As it is written, you love righteous and hate wickedness. Because he loved righteousness and hated wickedness, he therefore came closer to the righteousness. Therefore it is written, Abraham my beloved. Why is he my beloved? Because it has been said about him, you love righteous. This is the love toward the Holy One, blessed be He, whom Abraham loved more than anyone else of his generation, who were stout hearted and far from righteous, as he already been explained. The Zohar says, why Abraham find the one God, the ultimate love? Because he chose to be righteous. He chose to be a good human being. He stay away from wicked. He stay away from evil. We're all looking for God. We have so much to ask Him. We have such a big list to give Him. But the only way to get close to Him is by changing our ways, changing our nature, from negative and bad to good and love. I think the word love covers everything. When you say the word love is include, Abraham stands for Chesed, right? The Chesed is the father of all the Zer and Pin. Is the fruit of the upper world, and it covers everything. So the Chesed is inclusive of all the Sefirot. This universe runs on love. Without love, look at the news. I mean, the moment there is separation, the moment there is evil, they're talking about destruction. So let's move on to the second section of the class. We talked about changing our nature. The most difficult thing to do is changing your nature. Changing your nature is very difficult. We're born with it, we're comfortable with it. It's us. How do you change your nature? And we choose. We have a choose. Sometimes we choose what nature we want to have. We can have a nature of a snake. We can have a nature of a lion. We can, if somebody pushes us very hard, we can choose the nature of a dog to bite and bark back. So all the animals, all the energy of the animals are within us. At the Bereshit says that Adam named all the animals. We know the characteristic of the animals. Only by knowing them we can name them. So, we have this spectrum of different nature that we can choose and pick and practice. And the first lesson of Kabbalah is not to be reactive, right? That's Kabbalah 1, not to be reactive. Because the moment we react, we let the animal to be in charge, not us. So, we have a nature that responds. We have a nature that is like instinct, that we see something, we hear something, then we react to it. We have good natures, we have bad natures, and who's in control? Who's running the show here? I can be a wonderful person at this moment, and I leave this room, I see an old, enemy, and I'm going to totally change my nature. So who's in charge? We spoke before, I think in the last Shabbat, there is a saying in English says, me, myself, and I. We have three characters within us. Is the good character, the evil character, and the governor that decides, who's in charge. So at the beginning of the Torah, when the Creator speaks about the creation, he says, and God created Adam. In Hebrew, creation is yatzar, with one yud, but the Torah uses two yuds. There is no such a word in Hebrew, yatzar, with two yuds. But the Torah is telling us that we are born with the two characters, the positive and the negative, the good and the evil, the loving and the hating. If you watch cartoons or movies, they put like a good angel in one shoulder and a bad angel in the other shoulder. And they both whisper to that person, and that person make a decision with which one to go. So we have the good inclination, the bad inclination within us. We were born with it, no choice. But there is a king, there is a governor that make a decision. Do I go with this guy or do I go with that guy? What is our job? Is to educate that king, to educate that governor. There is nothing we can do about the good inclination. There is nothing we can do about the bad inclination. We can control the bad inclination and we can feed the good inclination. But the ruler, the governor, the king, the melech, our word is malchut, and we are the king. The king make a decision, make a rule. Do I go this way or do I go that way? So the only thing we can do is to educate this ruler by studying Kabbalah, Zohar, and Torah. That's the only truth that we know. So I have a question to ask you. When we wake up in the morning, who you think is in control? The good inclination or the negative inclination?
Both.
Good.
اگه مانده بلندشیم نگاتیو.
If you wake up in Monday, it's like
من فکر کنم بوده.
good. Okay. I have a news for you. If you think it's a good inclination, they got you really good. Including me. I'm not judging anybody. We have to be aware. We have to be aware that the bad inclination, the evil inclination is in charge 24/7. Like Amir Jun says, when we go to sleep, the bad inclination is going to gym to get stronger, to get you the next day. It never sleeps, it never rests. We are maybe 20, 30 years old, but the evil inclination is at least 5,000 years old. Look at the experience we have and look at the experience he has. So the moment you think the good inclination is in charge, is already took over. I'm not saying that there are no moments. Of course there's moments that it's in charge, like now, but we constantly have to be aware that the evil side is in control, that the evil side is controlling. That's the only way to block it. Yes?
I feel like when I say Modéani, Lefanecha,
Beautiful.
the evil goes away and
Exactly.
the light is stronger,
Beautiful.
the weather
Good
is
job.
smoother,
You're
the way
amazing.
I breathe, I understand that
Amazing.
it's different.
We don't practice religion in these classes, but many years ago I suggested all of you guys, the least you can do is the three blessings in the morning, Modeh, Netilah, and Brich, and Shema Yisrael. Why? The Kabbalists are not stupid people, they're very wise people. Why they make this program for us? You wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, say something good. Say the name of the Creator. Not 5 minutes later, not half an hour later. The moment you open your eyes. Because the evil is in charge. But the moment I look at the Hebrew letters, the moment I make the first mitzvah of loving life and loving universe, So I'm already in control. So it takes a lifetime. It takes a lifetime to be in control, many lifetimes to be in control. We've been here for so many times and we still, the evil is controlling us. So we have to be aware. The only way to win the game, I know all of our mother says you're the best son, you're the best daughter, you're perfect, you don't have to do anything. The moment we think we are good, the snake is already got us. Constantly you're aware that the negative side is in charge. And to control the nature, there's always the game between the heart and the mind. The Torah is not a storybook when it talks about Adam and Chava. It's not talking about two different people. It's talking about the same person, but it's talking about his mind and it's talking about his heart. Adam, the male, is the mind and the conscious, as Chava, the female, is the heart. Let me ask you a question. Who ate from the tree first? Was it Chava or Adam?
Chava.
It was Adam. Adam ate from the tree first. Chava, we don't know Torah. Chava, look at the tree. She picked it. He said, look how beautiful it is. Look how delicious it is. Look how nice it is. You want to taste it? Adam says, yeah, I want to taste it. So it's not, don't fall for the story, you're smarter than that. It's about the mind and the heart. Sometimes our heart desires something and our mind falls for it. Sometimes our mind desires something bad and our heart falls for it. So when we're talking about negative and positive, we have to consider also our heart and the mind. What is the famous sentence in Shema Israel? Don't fall for your eyes and for your heart. Addicted people, because they fall for their heart. Or a very wise teacher with no heart. So we constantly have to create this balance between the heart and the mind. Be aware that the negative side is in charge, and be aware that the heart can fool us or our mind can fool us. Let's talk about, we are thinking about 40 minutes, right? Let's talk about soulmates now. There is a huge section in the Zohar that talks about soulmates. This is the only portion. That talks about soulmates actually in the whole Zohar. Why now? Why during this section, Lech, Lecha, move, change yourself, change your nature. And when we're talking about soulmate, again, not only for single people, even for married people, to rejuvenate, to bring more strength into the relationships. Also, we have children that are single. We have grandchildren that are singles. So, the reason the Zohar choose to talk about soulmate in this section is because, let me find the section right here. Because we won't find our soulmate without changing ourselves, without moving out of our old habits. We are not going to find a new business unless we're going to change ourselves. We're not going to find a new house or whatever unless we change our habits, our old way of thinking and consciousness. We're going to get there. On the Zohar about soulmates is book number 3, page 186, the whole section, 186 and 188. So, first, the Zohar talks about nobody knows. Nobody knows who are soulmates. Only the Creator would know who are soulmates. But he says the only chance we have, the only positive thing we can do about finding our soulmate is to become spiritual, is to get closer to God through the Torah and through the Zohar. You know, we all have a Jewish neshama. For us, the only gateway is the Torah. There is no other way for us. It says, you know, nobody knows who are soulmates. There is no human being can recognize it. Only the Creator knows who are the soulmates. But we have a chance, and the only chance is by being righteous, by being spiritual, by getting close to the Creator. You know, we talked about it a few years ago. We have to make the Creator know us. You have to stand out. You have to be really special for him or her to notice you. So how can we get his attention? Is by acting like him, have affiliation, practice the love. How are you gonna meet your soulmate if you don't practice love? Love for humanity, love for life. You know, in our society, we text love and we send love SMS all the time, but do we really mean it? Do we actually understand the meaning of love? So, how can I text love all day and I don't answer the phone for a good friend? Or I don't show love, or I don't practice love, I don't love my life. You don't love your job, you don't love your car, you don't love your house. So love is not just a word saying, you truly have to love everything in your life. And honestly, without this wisdom of Kabbalah, you can't find the true love. You can find the fake love, but the true love is through the Kabbalah. We're all experiencing it right now through the years. So the Zohar says, you know, get close to God. Study Kabbalah, study Zohar, study Torah. That's going to help you to get closer to your soulmate. There is you don't have to follow it, but on the page 186, on the English section, it says that what is a soulmate? There is no, in the spiritual world, there is no man and woman. It's one unit, but it gets split in a physical world, and now they have to find themselves again. They have to find each other again. So it says at the creation, you know, he separated the male from female, and it says if the two halves of the soul embark on a spiritual path during physical existence, they can merit reunification. You know, the only soulmate that we know through the Torah, do you know who are the true soulmates that we know in the stories of the Torah? Anybody has an idea? No.
Abraham.
No. The only soulmate that we know in the Torah is Isaac and Rebecca. You know, Abraham had two wives. He had Sarah and Hagar. Yaakov had 4 wives. I mean, come on, if you meet your soulmate, do you need to get married to find more wives?
So Adam and Chava were not soulmates?
You know, it's kind of complicated because they are not human as we know it now. They were above human, you know, they were pure light. It's nothing have to do with the way we see people now. You know, the physical world started, you know, actually from Abraham and on.
What about Joseph?
That's coming, you know, Joseph, you know, it's a different story also with Dinah and the daughter, and he got involved in Egypt, you know. It didn't come to him easy. It came to him very difficult. So let me tell you why. The true soulmates that we have in the Torah is Isaac and Rebecca. You know, Abraham married twice, and yet Jacob married few times. Most of the characters in the Torah, they marry many times. It's not that the soulmate is one because they all love each other. No, because they're already doing the tikkun. When you meet your soulmate, you're done with your tikkun. There is no more, you don't need any other help. Avraham needed help. He couldn't do his tikkun with his one wife. Yaakov couldn't do his tikkun with the one wife. He had to marry 4 times. So, and why Isaac? And it comes even more interesting. If you listen to the Torah carefully, when the Torah talks about the age of Isaac and Rebekah, you can see the difference. Rebekah was born at the moment of Akedah. When Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, in that moment Rebekah was born. Why? Because Isaac changed his neshama, he changed his soul. You know, they call it the fear of Isaac. Until we don't have this fear, we don't change ourselves. I miss Amijun so much. Until, God forbid, we don't go under the knife, we don't truly understand what fear means. We cannot get close to God until, you know, we go under the knife. So can you imagine, you know, Isaac laying down there, he's all bonded, his hands and legs, and his father with a knife on top of him? This is when his soul changed. He changed his nature. The moment you change your nature, your soul may show up. How and why, we don't want to know. It's just a fact. Isaac was 37 years old at the Akedah. The moment he had this, can you imagine, he was going to die, it was over, end of the game. And then he changed his neshama. He adopted this fear of God, you know, that I'm aware of the negativity. You know, Isaac was all judgment, was all gevurah. Isaac saw the consequences of being bad, being evil, being judgmental, being hateful, being controlling. When he saw that powerful energy and he had this fear, and he decided to change his nature, his wife was born, who knows, somewhere else. And they end up meeting. So, you wanna find your soulmate, you wanna find business, you wanna find, you know, whatever, you're searching something in your life, change your nature. Change your nature. Have this fear that speaking evil, looking evil, hearing evil, touching evil, acting evil, thinking evil is not going to get me closer to my goal. Let's read a section from the Zohar that talks about soulmates again. I recommend you, all of you, one more time, we are book number 3, page 186. Study the whole section talking about finding soulmate. So we are reading section 352, page 188. With this conscious, don't cross 188, section 352. Don't cross your legs, don't cross your hands. We are reading this section with this conscious that, you know, all the singles, our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, by changing their nature, by switching anything negative to positive and good, by investing in Torah, Kabbalah, and Zohar, we're going to find the soulmate, whatever we are looking for. Amar Rabbi Chaya, me'an de'et kashrun ovadui, ba'an atar hitba hahu zavuga de'yalya, amar lo ha-tanin, le'olam mimacher adam v'chule, v'yisa bat talmid chacham, the talmid chacham pekudana de ma'araya et pakadan be'yadea. Pay attention to the English part. Rabbi Chaya asks, Where should he look, perform good deeds, look for his soulmate? He answered, we have already learned that a man should even sell all his property to marry the daughter of a sage, because the deposit of the Holy One, blessed be He, is handed over to a sage. Therefore, he shall surely find his soulmate with him. What the Zohar says, he says, a man and a woman, they should give up everything. When he's talking about property, he's talking about our ego, our entitlement, our good looking. We have to give up every priority or every desires that I have when I want to get married. But the only desire I want to have is to marry a son or a daughter of Talmid Chacham, a smart student of the Torah. I don't want to say rabbi or whatever, but he's talking about, you have to give up everything to marry. You all know what Talmid Chacham means, right? A smart student of the Torah, a spiritual person. I'm not talking about religious, So one question that come up, and the Zohar talks about, he says, of course the Creator wants all of us to marry our soulmates, but then, most of us got married before we even knew Torah. So how does it work? So the Zohar says, we made a choice. We made a choice. And Baruch Hashem is a good choice. So we made a choice. It's not a soulmate. Maybe it is, but we made a choice because we are good people. We are righteous people. We are loving and caring and we are learning. But we made a good choice, but we want our children. We want our next generation, like the way Avraham did. Avraham make a decision, to change himself. Look at his children. How much wealth, how much happiness, how much goodness came to his children and grandchildren. The reason Yitzchak married his soulmate, because he had a righteous father too. It have to do with his father. So, as a community, as a nation, we have to indulge ourselves, in the Torah and the study of Kabbalah, in order for us and children to have a good fortune and good marriage and find their soulmate. I think we have reached the 1 hour. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. If you have any questions, we're going to talk about it.